I'm back and ready
I'm back and ready
to talk about Se7en.
to talk about Se7en.
And my name's Kai.
My name's Kai.
And I just pooed myself.
And I just pooed myself. Did you hear it?
Hello and welcome to
GRZLY.
Press Pause. This is my interrupting co-host. What's your name?
Kai.
I'm Ted. And today,
We watched Se7en. We didn't watch Se7en today, actually.
this is the first one we've ever watched in a cinema.
It is.
It was really exciting.
I think that everyone should celebrate for us the fact that we got to watch Se7en, a 30-year-old movie, in the cinema.
Oh,
It
it's
was
great.
incredible.
I don't know if that was a universal thing.
Yeah, well, it might have been just the UK, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, this was the
either.
first one where Kai had watched it and I hadn't.
That's true as well.
How did that make you feel?
Happy. Actually, no, I was really worried that you weren't going to like it, but I'm so glad
I
you
know, I
did.
don't know why.
Just got in my head about it.
It's like exactly the type of movie I like, and you were so worried about it.
Sorry, here's my little introduction. So Se7en, and the V is a 7, the number.
Which doesn't make any sense to me because they don't really look that similar.
No. The film came out in 1995. It's a David Fincher movie, which I think is cool because he did like Fight Club. And here is the letterbox description. 7 deadly sins, 7 ways to die. 2 homicide detectives are on a desperate hunt for a serial killer whose crimes are based on the 7 deadly sins. In this dark and haunting film that takes viewers from the tortured remains of one victim to the next, the seasoned detective Somerset researches each sin in an effort to get inside the killer's mind, while his novice partner Mills scoffs at his efforts to unravel the case.
You ate that.
Thank you.
Stars Brad Pitt.
Yup.
It stars Morgan Freeman.
Yup.
It stars Gwyneth Paltrow, and it stars Kevin Spacey.
Yup. Those are the top 4.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well done.
I just know because I
'Cause
know
you
those
watched the
people
movie.
in the movie. But
Yeah.
thank you for congratulating me. I still appreciate it.
I'm going to start out by saying Brad Pitt, he's very sexy in this movie.
That's such an intellectual point you just made. Okay, let me get my notebook out.
Do you not agree?
No, I do. I'm just saying.
My
It's not
intellectual points are in my notebook, which is over there.
Were they intellectual though? Because we were in that cinema.
It was too dark.
It was
I could not write.
We were the fucking nerds in the cinema with our notebooks out on the little table they give you.
Well, we walk in, and I don't know what I was expecting because who was watching it is exactly what makes sense. But I don't know what I was expecting, but it's not what we saw. Like the people that were there.
Who did you think was going to be
I don't know.
like
Brad Pitt himself.
stereotype for me? Who you thought was going to be in the cinema?
I don't know. I definitely have no picture of what I thought, but I just went in and I was like, oh,
But that room definitely didn't pass the Bechdel.
oh no.
The Bechdel test because
There's only one
none of
woman
us
in the
spoke.
film.
That's true, actually. The film had one woman, except the ones that died,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
and all she talked about was Brad Pitt
Baby.
and the baby. Brad Pitt's kind of like
But
a
with
woman.
a man, not another woman. So
No,
Brad Pitt's kind of like a woman, did you say?
yeah, like hot like a woman.
Oh, that's real actually.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
actually, the first thing I have in characters is who plays Moth. Because there was an advert with Danny Dyer, and I went, "Oh my god, it's Moth!" And you looked at me like I was an idiot.
I didn't look like an idiot.
And
I was
then
looking at
who
you like
was it?
I'm an idiot. It was Moth
It was Moth.
from Human Traffic.
Yeah, go listen.
Because if you aren't a
Go listen to episode 5.
loyal follower and listener,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't know that we talk about Moth a lot because he's in the movie Human Traffic, and we watched that movie and we recorded it and we uploaded it.
That was too fast. It was too fast for yourself to keep up with.
Yeah, it was.
I think that we've decided that we're going to put an end to saying the episode number because every time we've said the episode number, we end up swapping the episodes around. So it was wrong.
My mum said that as a little bit of like advice that we should say spoiler alert at the beginning.
I was thinking this yesterday actually. Okay.
And I kind of was like, yeah, that's a good idea, and then I completely forgot.
We will have spoilers.
Spoiler!
In this episode, there will be spoilers. Disclaimer.
Don't watch on if you haven't watched Se7en.
Except you should though.
Go watch Se7en first, then listen on. I said watch.
But if you don't care about spoilers,
Which
feel free.
this movie's 30 years old.
You make the decision whether or not to listen on. I recommend you do. Second thing I wrote in characters.
Yeah.
And this is something really important to me,
Okay.
spiritually.
It's okay.
The diva who was reclining his seat behind us. I live for him. I
okay.
love for him.
You get your trailers And then it does a little bit of silence where they're like going like, oh, this is in this movie.
And then there's a
it's
song.
18. Blah, blah, blah. It does a song, then it does this silent bit. And in that silent bit,
there's just
he's there.
And then he stopped for a single second as if to be like, oh, it's making a noise, and then went, fuck it.
Okay.
Also, like, I know your chair always squeaks, but for some reason, like, now it's quieter and it like sounds like someone crying. And it's kind of haunting.
It's me crying out of my arse.
Now it kind of sounds like a bee, actually. Anyway.
I can't hear it.
Oh, shit. Actually, I do need to go. Okay.
We'll be back in like an hour or two. You won't tell the difference.
You won't know. You know, we'll be back in no time for you.
Why?
What do you call a cheese for autistic horses?
What do you call cheese for autistic horses?
Who were trying to hide it? Mascarpone. Did you like it? You know what's funny about that joke? Mascarpone is the punchline to a joke that I've heard before about cheese, but I don't remember it, so I made that up. I don't remember the setup for the mascarpone joke. Why are you laughing at all your tomatoes being on my pizza? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're the one who gave them to me. What do you expect me to do?
You didn't put them on any other slices.
Eat them
and you put them all on one.
Because I forgot to put them on the slices. So now they're all just on one slice.
Okay.
Just a very tomatoey pizza. That's okay.
Not for me.
Actually, let's talk about the fact that there's tomato on the pizza anyway. So why did you bother taking all these off? Yes. Yes.
Nuh-uh.
There is. There's tomato
Sauce.
under the cheese. It's tomato flavoured.
Yeah.
So why can't you eat the pizza with the tomatoes on it?
Texture. I told you it wasn't the flavour, it was the texture.
But they're cooked though. They don't have the same texture.
But they're cooked though.
I really want something like lemonade or something. I'm not drinking that lemonade. I'm not drinking that. Stop wiggling your pinky out because I'm not going to drink it. Do you know how old that is? It's gone misty.
I've been drinking the Dr. Pepper. Pepper.
He's been drinking the Dr. Pepper.
I can only hear people talking outside.
He couldn't. Can he?
Do you want me to drink it first?
No, that's not going to ease my mind.
Why?
If it's because it's still going to give me tummy ache. Wait, look, I'm Ariana Grandeing the microphone. I don't want to watch mukbangs anyway because I'm not a freak. No offense to anyone watching who likes mukbangs. Mukbangs are a totally normal thing to enjoy.
No, I wouldn't feel that way if I heard you say freak about it, but okay. I wasn't like a freak, or those freaks do. They watch mukbangs and they go freak and a freak and the freaks. It's okay. It's all okay. You can watch mukbangs if you so wish.
Hey, look. There's people out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they like to look at feet. Is that any of my business?
No.
No.
So
in my personal free time when I'm talking to my friend and I forget that I'm recording it to put on the internet and I call them a freak, is that so wrong?
I hate realising that I'm loud.
Well, what
So it just makes me realise that I'm probably loud every second of my life.
Well,
And people have to
I
deal
don't
with
think
that.
so.
And I feel bad.
But it's just when you're excited and in a good mood. When I walk into the computer room
Yeah.
and you're with your friends, like, I can usually hear you from the entrance.
Yeah.
But I think it's only when you're, like, having fun and in a good mood.
That's okay. Barely ever. But fine. Kidding. Kidding. I'm always on good mood. Where is it?
Your 7 notes.
Found it.
Yay!
So I lost them.
Hi!
You didn't get the tomatoes, did you?
It fell in my plate!
It did get in the tomatoes. There's
I'm gonna kill
tomato on
myself.
your shirt. Book. Page.
Not my shirt, or I'd kill myself. Sorry, I would say that.
Sorry.
Listeners might not like it. Or I'd be upset.
Oh, all we do is pander to the listeners now.
And we're turning into...
Fucking hell! I'm so done.
Turning to all those celebrities that have to be too woke.
Exactly.
The woke agenda's gonna get us!
Oh!
This is just like all those people who want to be mean about Ricky Gervais. Just because he wants to be transphobic. Let a man be transphobic if he made funny TV shows.
Exactly!
For the record, we're joking. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. I don't mean anything that I just said in those few moments.
I think I should just go out there and say, unless you personally believe it's good, I don't mean anything I say. If you hear something I say and you think it's bad, just No, I don't mean it.
Yeah.
And if you hear something
Joking.
I say and you think, oh, that's genius, yeah, I thought of it myself and I mean it.
That's real.
You should think that about everything either of us say all the time. If anything is pandering, that's pandering. Okay. I want to quickly apologise. I feel like before I was like kind of quiet and out of it, I was just concerned about not being on time. So now I'm back and I'm ready to talk about Se7en. I'm back and ready to talk about Se7en.
I'm sorry, you said that like as if I had to like repeat after you.
Yeah, come on. I'm back and ready
I'm back and ready
to talk about Se7en.
to talk about Se7en.
And my name's Kai.
My name's Kai,
And I just pooed myself.
and I just proved myself. Did you hear it?
I'm going to
That's
cut
so-
out to just you saying that.
No!
You know what? I'm pretty sure all I've talking about
Talking this?
about on my whole list was Moth and the Recliner Man and nothing from the actual movie.
in the characters? You're joking.
No. Have you not noticed that? The next one is about Morgan Freeman. I haven't said anything about Morgan Freeman yet. I've only talked about Muff and the Recliner Man.
Oh, in the...
Muff.
Muff.
Muff means
Muff.
vagina.
Oh, yeah, you did
Yeah.
tell me about this.
Muff's not as bad as Snatch.
Snatch is
Yeah, but I've come to really love that word. The more I
actually,
hear
no,
it,
Muff is worse.
the more... Yeah. The thing is, Snatch kind of like
But I think I'm just used to Snatch,
feel
because
like-
we actually
yeah, maybe.
said the word
But
Snatch.
the thing is, right, to me,
More
it's
times I
like,
thought.
Snatch is so like, it's so like, ugh. But also like, it's not like, I feel like most words for a vag is ill.
Yeah.
Snatch isn't, it feels like a cleaner. Even though it's like a gross way of saying it, in that it's kind of dehumanized, I guess, like objectifying it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but on the other hand, I feel like it's less gross to hear.
Yeah, real. Okay, anyway.
Anyway, sorry, yeah.
Oh, wait.
We're half an hour in. We have not said a single fucking thing about this film.
That's not true. We said two... Actually, no. Those two things were about before the film started.
Yes.
I just need to Google something real quick.
Okay, well, can I start?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I've never seen a movie with Morgan Freeman where he has so little grey hair.
That's real.
I've just like wrote that when we were in the cinema because the thing is he just has like a little tuft at the front that's grey, but I feel like usually he's grey. He's grey.
Great.
I love Morgan Freeman. Actually, I don't know if Morgan Freeman's like done anything problematic, but I
In
love.
films, he's pretty cool.
I feel like no one knows anything about Morgan Freeman. He's just in films.
Yeah, real.
You know what I mean?
He's
just
so
like,
well known.
in films, and
But
it's usually not
just
even
in
like.
film.
He's never the main character. He's always a supporting role.
Yeah.
He was a supporting role. He was a main character,
Yeah.
but who's the main? Okay, right. He's the main He's how do I explain it? We're following him,
Yeah.
but he is not the main plot.
No.
We know a lot less about him
And we care
and his
less.
personality.
I don't care what he does after this.
Exactly. You know, I care about where Brad Pitt's character's going. Mills.
I wonder where.
I wonder. Probably a white padded room. But
Probably, yeah.
this is the thing. It's like, do I really like? It's nice that that Morgan Freeman's gonna stick around.
Yeah.
I don't care that much. I didn't really care that much. He was gonna leave.
Real.
You know.
True. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, maybe that's just my opinion. I just
No,
don't.
I
think-
agree.
He was really good. He's always really good. But I feel like usually he's like the president or
Just
like.
like me.
I live for that.
Don't know where that...
Every breath
Even
I take
came
was for that impression. Every year I've lived up until now was to hear you do that. Anyway, what was I trying to say? Something about Morgan Freeman. He's usually like the president or like, you know, God in Bruce Almighty. But he's not, he's like amazing. He's the highlight of the movie.
Mm.
But he's not the main character.
Yeah.
You know? I think he was the most main character in this than I've ever seen him. Like in like Lucky Number 7.
Yeah.
He's not the main character. He's great. He's great in
Yeah.
it. But he's not the main character.
Yeah.
You know? I also wrote...
I have a character.
Okay, say.
Okay, so you know Morgan Freeman's office?
Yeah.
And there's a guy scraping his name off the
Oh my god.
window.
Oh my god, that was amazing. I
I
love
was like,
that guy.
poor guy. He just wants to all his job is to scrape the name off the thing. And he's been told he can't do that.
I know.
Get out.
And you know what? That's a horrible job. It makes a bad noise.
Yeah.
You probably don't get paid that much.
No.
If I'm being honest.
Probably not.
And he just came, and he looks so upset when he gets asked to leave.
I know.
And you know, I put that in scenes, but I'll talk about it now because we
Sorry.
brought him up. No, it's fine because we brought it up. You know what? He deserves to be in characters, but he's scraping, and Morgan Freeman goes like, "Can you just like not do that right now?" And like shoos him away.
He goes,
And he goes like,
oh.
He goes, "Oh," and then just carries his
It's
scraping
like,
away.
"Oh."
He got halfway through the scraping job.
Yeah, he
Okay,
did
just
finish
because
his job.
Morgan Freeman is upset because he's leaving.
He better get paid for what he did. It better not be like you only
He
get
didn't
paid if
finish
you
the
scrape the
job.
whole name off.
better be paid by the minute. You better be paid by the minute.
By the second.
By the second. And
Out of Morgan Freeman's wage.
Wasted some of his... Morgan Freeman, the little... Sorry. I did like him in this movie. But this made me mad. Little bitch. Morgan Freeman. I love him in this movie and all. But, like, it just really upset me. Because I'm just like, he didn't need that. He's trying to work a job. Why are you putting that face at me?
But you know in Twilight, when Bella does
Was I
that
bellaring? Don't even say that to me.
When she was freaking out, she's like,
No, you know what it is?
Just
Have you seen that one clip of Frank Iero and Gerard Way talking about how they love their gay fans in like 2004? And Gerard's like, well, I don't understand because like because some people like they have a problem with like the gay fans, but the gay fans are some of like the most supportive. And then Frank starts like going, I've never understood it. I've never understood why people care.
What you were just doing.
I shouldn't make fun of him for being an ally,
but it's funny.
but it's really funny. Because anytime I see those videos...
What was that?
I don't know. Anytime I see those videos, the captions are all like, he's trying to say that he's 6'2", you guys. It's like... It's giving, I hate that women have periods.
Bro.
And I'm like, well, no, because... Unless what he's trying to pull is gay men, I guess. I need to cough.
Ooh, look at this lovely lemonade.
Oh, it's going to give me tummy ache. Bubbles went up my nose. Really bad.
That felt
like I was sniffing, like...
Sounds like you're speaking German.
I said bubbles went up my nose. How does it sound like I was speaking German?
I just did.
I could speak in German, but I don't know how to say pussy candle in German.
We haven't got to the pussy candle yet. Speaking too soon.
That makes it sound like there are pussy candles in this movie, which is quite misleading. Guys, there are so many pussy... I was gonna say... So Morgan Freeman's metronome. That is psychopath behaviour if I've ever seen it.
I thought he was going to be the killer when that showed up.
You use a metronome to sleep.
It's okay.
I play piano, and that is the worst noise in the world. That's
a bit quick. Whose metronome was going that quick to let them sleep?
The one that I had to use to play piano.
Piano!
The one I had to use to play piano went... Shut up!
Yeah.
I hate it.
Okay, I can get that.
Would that help you get sleep?
No. No.
Because that's by his bed, it's loud. Just put a clock on your wall.
Oh no. I would laugh really hard.
Listen to a podcast, buddy. Listen to Breast Paws.
It'll help you. Maybe not. If
yeah,
it
would.
Really low volume.
If your job was like dealing with like murders, I think that this is the kind of light-hearted energy you need.
Real. Tiffany, who isn't called Tiffany, she's called Tracy, but I thought she was called Tiffany for the first like 3 pages of my notes. So, but
that's okay. I had no idea what Mills's name was for a very long time.
Right?
They'd never say it. It's just like you there. Come here.
They do say it, but they say it like such a way that you can't fucking tell.
It doesn't sound like the name Mills at all. It sounds like they're saying like random fucking sounds.
I thought it was Milson at one point.
They do add sound to the end of it. They're like, Mills, come here. And I'm like, what is his name?
Mills,
come here, Mr. Malcolm. Mills, come here.
Malcolm.
Millie, come here. Malcolm. Do you think Malcolm sounds like a young child name?
Do you not?
No. Do you? I guess I watched Malcolm in the Middle.
Marley. M-A-R-L-E-Y.
Oh yeah, where do you get that from?
Marley and Marley. I can't remember what actually it says.
What the fuck was that?
It's not. It doesn't say that.
What about?
What does he say? What is it called? You know in Christmas Carol, the puppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched that since I was like 7.
I've
watched it.
I can't remember what their name is.
Okay, well, can I talk about?
It's Marley and Marley.
Can I please talk about Gwyneth Paltrow? We are nearly 40 minutes into this recording and we have talked about nothing of importance. I've never seen Gwyneth Paltrow seem so normal, and I forgot that she's actually an actress and she doesn't just make... No, sorry, I didn't write pussy candle. I wrote not just a pussy steam candle lady. She was the one who said like that you should steam your pussy, right?
I don't know. I'm
gonna stop saying that word for it. She's the one who said that you should steam your snatch. Right? She's the one who said she made snatch candles, scented like her snatch. And then she said you should steam your snatch. It's good for it. It helps it grow.
Like a steamer.
You must water your snatch for it to grow. I just genuinely, but that was just a genuine thought. She came on the screen and I was like, Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh my god, she's an actress. She's not just like...
I didn't know about any of the candle things.
She's not just like, put something on your face to make it tight.
So I don't know
she's like this health kick person. Eat 30 pieces of mud a day. Keep you looking young.
Keep you looking young?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have not heard of that, any of that.
Okay, the only one... Okay, I made most of them up. But she does make candles that are supposed to be scented like her vagina. You can Google it. It's true.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna see what it
Or
looks
at least,
like. I want to see
okay.
what colour it is. This feels like my orgasm.
Specifically her orgasm. Okay, not like her vagina. Is there something vagina in it? Or does it look like a vagina? Show me it. Candle.
Well, this smells like
That says
vagina.
vagina. You said orgasm.
It said...
Oh, she makes both. It's kind of an ugly design. I like that better. She should have made those. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Anyway, also I put that. This is my last notes in characters. But when Gluttony guy, I don't know his name. Gluttony guy, he's in the room with the dead people in the drawers. What's it called? The dead people, and then like drawers.
Oh.
You know
morgue.
what? Yes, the morgue. You see, you laughed, but you got there, didn't you? So
People in drawers.
they are in drawers in the wall.
Yeah. Morgue.
Anyway, he looks like soap. His skin looks like soap. Do you not see that? You don't see my vision?
Yeah, I see your vision. It's a weird vision.
His skin looks like soap. What's weird about that?
My last character that I wanted to mention was Jonathan Doe. Because, honestly, I know he's like...
John Doe.
I just think it's really funny that he's changed his name to John Doe. That's really funny. That he changed his name to John Doe.
I couldn't remember who John Doe actually was.
John Doe is like when there's someone, they find someone.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no,
and
I know.
they don't know the name, the identity.
they
call them
that,
John
yeah.
Does.
Okay, well, it's because you watch all your criminal mastermind. What's it called?
Criminal Minds.
What criminal mastermind?
Yes.
It sounds like a game show. You get loads of criminals on. Like, we should host this. Oh, okay, but also I want there to be a lot of security. I want there to be so much security, like more security than they have.
Hosting game shows. That is our calling. Oh my god! Imagine if we hosted game shows.
Why have we never thought of this?
That'd be so much fun.
We should host game shows.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That's what we're made for.
Oh my god.
Although we'd sidetrack and then all the contestants saying it was criminal mastermind would probably end up killing us. So, but as I said, I want more security than there is for Buckingham Palace.
I want more security than there is in all the prisons in the entire world combined.
For our game show.
For our
where
game
it's all
show.
like bad criminals.
Yeah.
They can't be like...
They can't be thieves.
No, but they also can't be like, you know...
No.
I don't know.
It's an accident.
I don't want... No, it doesn't have to be an accident. I don't want it to be like cannibals.
No.
Or like... Anyway, I don't want it to be like problematic. Anyway,
we should do that.
we should do that.
That's our next achievement. I was about to say achievement. That's our next
Goal.
mission. Goal.
Criminal masterminds. Actually, just hosting a game show. Fuck the criminals part. That would freak me out.
Yeah. Just hold his game show and we'd be amazing at it.
Yeah. Let's talk about scenes.
Okay. Yeah.
What do I have next? Oh no, lines. Lines is next.
Yeah, we normally do that.
The first one I have to talk about is when the guy, I don't know who he is, he's like an extra detective, and he's like he's gone with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes like, he's in a pile of his own piss and shit. If he wasn't dead, he would have stood up by now. I'm like, yeah, that's real, actually. Good point.
Yeah.
But how stupid can you be? Like, he's lying with his face in spaghetti.
Yeah.
Get up.
He'd at least lift his head.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't remember the context of it, but I just wrote down, start out kicking each other in the balls. This is really close to the beginning.
Oh, because I think Brad Pitt's character is like, says...
Spoke about to Morgan Freeman.
To Morgan Freeman that he's like kicking him in the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I remember that.
I think they would probably kick each other in the balls.
I think he was like, I don't want us to start out kicking each other in the balls.
Yeah.
I've got, he's dead, and then he goes, thank you, Mills. Right in the beginning. I think he says Mills. Well, I wrote thank you, D, and then a scribble.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
I'm going to guess he said Mills. And I forgot the name of Mills.
I wrote down Milton in a question mark book.
Because you didn't know. That's real. I've got in capitals, diva. And then it says, could you please be quiet? I don't know who said that. Morgan Freeman.
Oh my god. Is this quite close to the top?
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay, I wrote about this. I didn't say it.
Tell me.
But I said Yappa for real.
Yeah.
Because he was like talking.
Mills.
Yeah. So they just got into the gluttony
Crime scene.
and he's just talking and he's like, can you shut up?
Okay, yeah. I just wrote,
Stop.
he goes, could you please be quiet? Oh, yeah, no, okay, it says Morgan. I thought it said mayor. And I was like, who the fuck's the mayor? But it says Morgan. Okay, this is what it's written. Fuck you. Fuck him. I'm sorry. See you later. Have a nice time. Give it to me. Do you remember anyone saying that?
In that order? No.
You don't remember?
Do you?
No. Who said that and when?
I'm so confused.
That's what I have written. And I just decoded it and that's 100% what it says.
Okay, well, no. I could not even tell you.
I liked when... Oh, no, I remember exactly what it was.
Okay.
Yes, I'm so happy that I remembered. Okay, so basically when they're talking about how... When Morgan Freeman's like, oh, I don't want to be on the case.
Mm.
And then Brad Pitt goes like, fuck him. And then turns to Morgan Freeman and is like, I'm sorry, see you later, have a nice time. And then goes, give it to me.
Yeah, I remember.
He's like, give it to me.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't good.
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean? Okay, I remember. He's in the office with the chief.
He's like, fuck him.
And he's
I'm sorry.
He's like, fuck him. And he's like, sorry, have a nice time, see you later. Give it to me, give me the case. And then he goes, I'm all over it. I love that.
He is all over it.
I don't know why, that's just like funny to me. And then this is what I remembered his name. Because
he's like an angry little guy.
Well, yeah.
In this movie. And it's really funny.
But he's like, that's the thing, right? Is that
he's sassy.
The other guy makes him out to be this angry big guy.
Yeah.
But he's an angry little guy.
He's an angry little guy.
He's angry about stupid shit most of the time.
Yeah.
Obviously not,
Not the end.
With later things that we'll talk about, he's angry for a very good reason.
But at the beginning...
He's angry for, like, no real reason.
Yeah. He's just a bit...
He's like, I want the case. Well, you can't have the case. You can't have the case, Brad Pitt. You know why? Because you do stupid shit. That's why. Yeah. You can't have the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is when I got his name, because now it says Mills. Finally.
Uh-huh.
For the first time. I like when Mills is in the office and they're, like, pussyfooting. Is that the term? I think it is. Around each other.
Yeah.
And because Morgan Freeman gives Mills the big desk.
Yeah.
And Mills is
I love it.
Awkward about it, and he's like, I keep swapping between calling them their character names and their real names. I'm going to call them their character names.
Okay.
Mills is like awkward because Somerset gives him the desk.
Yeah.
And the phone rings and he turns to Morgan Freeman and he goes, phone? Somerset, sorry. He turns to Somerset and he just goes, phone? And he goes like, it's your office, like, pick it up.
It goes with the job, mate. Like,
and then,
yeah,
and then,
I do love it. It's so funny.
No, sorry. Oh, no, yeah, he does. But then when he gives Somerset the phone and goes, it's my wife. And Somerset's like, okay, I think it's for you. Why are you giving it to me? And obviously she did ask for Somerset, but it's so funny to see.
He like lifts up the phone to give it to him and then tries to put it around, but realizes there's a box in the way, so he's just like, okay, I'll just put it back.
He's like, it's just funny to me, first of all, that he says phone when he wants the job. He wants the office. He wants Somerset to leave. And he's like...
But he doesn't want to answer the phone.
It's like, phone, it's for you. It's your phone. Oh, answer the phone.
And
then he's like, it's my wife. Somerset's like, okay. That means it's probably for you.
Go with it then.
Talk to your wife then. That's not for me.
Just as they arrived, so Mills and... I keep going to say Summer House.
What, Top Boy Summer House?
Yes, Somerset.
Top Boy Summer House. Mills and
Top Boy Summer House.
Mildrew? No, that's not correct. Milton and Top Boy Summer House.
They go to Milton's house and he walks in and he goes, hey loser, to his wife, and
Mills does?
Yeah!
I don't remember that. Why does he say that to his wife?
Hey loser, and then kisses her on the cheek or something.
Oh, I like that.
Oh my god.
I like when he goes, where are the kids? And she goes, in their room.
Yeah.
And then it pans around and it's a bunch of dogs.
Why listen to her and you go, is that the kids?
I literally went like, are those the kids? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, Because, right, when she's... if he just said, where are the kids, and it was dogs, that'd be different. But because she went, like, they're in their room, and it's, like, nighttime, you know? So I assume that it actually is the kids, right? And then it's, like, a room of dogs. And also, it's just funny to me that, like, the dogs, like, have a room, and they don't leave their room. They're not around the dinner table with them. They're in the room.
They're quite big dogs, to be fair.
I guess. And it's quite a small flat.
Yeah.
That's true. Literally my first note in scenes is when Somerset tells the guy to stop scraping and he goes, oh, okay.
I'm not on scenes yet.
Sorry, I just thought it was funny.
Calm yourself. Wait, sorry, I wasn't listening because I was too upset about you going into scenes. What did you say?
It was a funny thing. I was like sad for a second. I was like, he didn't find it funny.
Sorry,
Okay. I said when Somerset tells the guy to drop the scrapey thing and he goes, oh, okay. That was the first thing in my scenes. Yeah, see?
Yeah, I do love that bit.
See? So why did you go, I'm talking about things. Yeah, but I thought it was funny that
it is
mentioned
funny.
it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to find...
All I get is hatred.
I love when Mills... This is quite far a bit after this. I love when they're in the, like, restaurant thing, whatever, and Mills goes to Somerset, and he's like, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Mills says to Somerset...
Your hair's doing something.
Because I hear something tucked it behind my ear, okay?
Okay, continue.
Don't judge me.
I wasn't judging, you didn't
like,
untuck it.
Can you sit across from me? I don't want people to think we're dating. And he says it in such a disgusted way. Like, he's like, oh, you're sitting next to me, people are going to think we're gay.
Oh, what, to Mills?
Mills says it to Somerset.
Oh!
It's like, can you sit across from me? I don't want people to think we're dating. Says it in, like, the most, like, can you actually get away from me? He doesn't.
I thought you were saying that, when, I couldn't remember that when we left, and I thought you were saying that Somerset said it to Tracy.
No.
When they went for dinner.
No.
For breakfast.
When Mills and Somerset were working on the case,
okay, first of all, why would anyone think that? Second of all, if I saw two guys stood next to each other, that's way less looking like it's a date than if they're opposite each other. Because the thing is, right, it's all about, you know, body language, whatever. I'm gonna be like one of them people who like talk about, you know how that thing is like penis shame when the men stand with like their legs together, and then it's like penis out to the world when they stand with them. Have you ever seen those? It's like, no, it's
amazing.
It's like a meme, and it's like when men stand facing like women, and they're like got their like legs crossed together, or like
I wonder what I do.
Their legs facing away. It's like
penis shame or penis out to the world.
You got the penis shame, or you got the penis out to the world. Anyway, it's like that, right? It's like if you are opposite someone, in a booth, you can talk, you can converse.
Exactly.
If you are opposite, you're not far. Like, you're far, but you can still lean really close in. And there's something more, like, personal about leaning in. Stop laughing. About leaning in across the table.
There is. It's gay.
Then if you're sat next to one another, unable to have a conversation.
Because they're looking at their paperwork.
Yeah, you're unable to have a conversation. You can talk if you're facing one another. That looks gayer.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're sort of, like... leaning in to like look at paperwork together. That's gay. That's more gay, so I don't know what he was on about. Luckily,
also they don't look like a gay couple because
Somerset knew.
They just don't because like actually, you know what I was gonna say because Somerset's way older, but then I guess most gay couples do look like that. Not to be problematic, but to be fair, I feel like most gay couples before
if someone told me they were dating,
not now so much, but. Gay couples in the 90s was like an old man and a teenage boy. Not that Mills is a teenage boy, but you know.
Acts like it. He's so sassy, as I say.
You know, well, there weren't as many options back then, so what can you do? You went so silent. Were you not going to read a point?
No, I was reading a quote that I wrote down. Yeah.
Are you still not done with lines? You said you didn't have many.
Well, I did say I didn't. But I've got loads of pages left, so I probably did.
Okay, great.
They're talking... before they're going to go break into John Doe's apartment or whatever, or before they start chasing him or something, and he's like, what do I do? What do I even say? And Somerset is like, you've got to deal with it. You've got to talk to him. And he was like, oh, what do I say? Sorry, Sarah, you by any chance a serial killer?
Yeah, and then also like John Doe like pulls up on the stairs.
He's like, uh-oh.
Also, I love how completely unprepared they were that he almost literally dies the first time they come into contact with one another.
Literally.
Like, he's supposedly, like, wrath, and he's, like, you know, he's, like, angry and cold-blooded.
Spoilers!
We've already admitted we're going to spoil things. Let me talk!
Sorry, carry on.
Kai, we are over an hour in.
No, we just got to an hour.
We're
19 seconds.
We're 20 seconds over an hour, okay?
No, you were going to say
my thing was unimportant.
Well, I feel bad.
I was just gonna say that, like, he's supposed to be like Wrath,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, okay, he's chasing him and stuff, but he very quickly loses the upper hand in there. Like, I feel like if he was really Wrath, he would have been more like.
He didn't do the full, like, I'm gonna get him, I'm mad, I want to get him.
Yeah,
like,
he
was
was holding back.
oh no, I got hit in the head.
And I think if he'd killed him then, if anything, it would have been different because.
A better movie.
Well, no, because it would have been a shorter movie. But anyway, that would have been more like, it would have been more understandable because that's not an act of like revenge.
Yeah.
That's like actively stopping him from harming you or others. You know, and like, again, spoiling, but like, and we're going to talk about it properly later, but the way he does end up killing him is like, he already is in handcuffs. He has no control.
Yeah.
He's about to go to prison. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
That's just an act of revenge.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, like, ethically, if he'd killed him in the chase scene, it would have been a lot more understandable. But obviously, he couldn't have anyway. He had completely lost control of the situation. He didn't have any of the upper hand. The only reason I think I think the thing is, he thinks he's like Wrath, and yeah, he does feel angry, but he doesn't have any real control. I think that's a big thing. Is like, he kills him when he's knelt on the ground in handcuffs.
Yeah.
He couldn't have killed him when they're both in the same situation. They both have guns.
Yeah, exactly.
When they both have guns and they can both run around and they have their hands free, he's not going to win.
He's not going to win.
No, because he's not thought through. Wrath isn't power.
It's blind rage.
Exactly. He has blind rage. He doesn't have any thought out like methods, you know.
Going into my next quote is when, you know, he gets hit, they lose him, and they're like, right, we need to go to his apartment, and Somerset is like, you have no reason to get in there.
And he just breaks the door down.
He's like, yeah, no, you're right. Sneaks past him, breaks the door down, and he's like, well, there's no point in arguing about it anymore.
Because I've already done it. And I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah.
But again, it's because he just beat him up. And he's angry.
Blind rage, he's mad.
Angry because he beat him up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is obviously he's mad for all the things he's done, but he very quickly gets angrier when he's wronged him.
Yeah.
He was never going to break the door down to originally question him. And don't get me wrong, obviously they had less proof it was him. But still, he never would have broken the door down to originally question him. He was going to knock.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But he very quickly gets more heated when he personally is wronged. Which, don't get me wrong, I understand. I guess what finally does it for him isn't him, it's his wife, so it's different. But, like, on the whole, I think it is, like, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because we were talking about it after, and how they didn't build it up for him to be Wrath.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit of both.
I think they did. I think I'm noticing more as I think about the movie that they actually did build him up to be Wrath. But, like I said,
in the moments where he's not, when he's like around that environment, you know what I mean?
This is the thing, is when he feels rage, it is blind, like not logical rage. But the thing is, because we see him, and this is what I said, like, I really think that a lot of the purpose of him being one of the sins is to show you that John doesn't know all the information he thinks he does.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he knows that person is that sin, they're evil, they're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't have the full picture, and we see that through the fact that Mills is one of them.
Yeah.
Because
you don't see him as purely Wrath throughout the whole film.
You don't see him as like a bad guy.
No.
You see him with his wife, and he's a loving person, and you see him with his dogs, and he's a loving person, and
you see him with Somerset.
And how they get along, and how he doesn't like him to start with, but they get along, and how sorry, I completely interrupted you. But,
No, but yeah.
And how he he really cares about the job and helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Like he says to Somerset all the time, like, I couldn't have apathy, I care about everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to help people, and that's why I want this job, is to help people.
Yeah.
And so you see that he is not this character that he is painted out to be by John Doe. And that's like why I think it is important that he plays that character, is because it really puts into perspective the fact that all the other characters he's just stereotyped.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely. But it's like the lawyer, not all of them did we get to see much else, but like the lawyer, we saw his wife being upset over his death.
Yeah.
You know? And stuff like that. Like, and you do see, like, that is kind of the only one where you see it fully, I think, but like there just are hints of the fact that like he just sees them as this one thing.
And that
he bores them down.
That thing is inexcusable to him.
Yeah, he bores them down to that one thing, and it's like that one thing is so inexcusable to him. Like, you know, he is willing to die because he experiences envy.
Yeah. And he's like...
Because he boils everything one thing down to that one thing.
I've sinned now, so I deserve to die too.
I felt envy, so I've got to die.
Yeah. And it's like...
It's just like, crazy. Well, no, because everyone feels every sin all the time. Yeah. You know? Not...
varying moments, but yeah.
You know?
It's...
Every time you're hungry, is that not gluttony? Every time you want something
someone
has...
when I was lying on the bed, that was gluttony.
Every time you want something someone has, is that not envy? Every time you are tired, is that not sloth? Yeah. You know? Like, no. So it just doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it is really good that he plays that role.
Yeah.
And that's why I do think in some ways, like, I don't know. If a sin was apathy, that could have been Morgan Freeman.
There you go.
Although he wasn't really. He was just pretending to be.
Yeah.
He cared really.
But, you know...
I loved Morgan Freeman in this
movie.
wise
words of our John Doe here, not in the wise words, in what I see him as, he's a bit, like, stupid.
John Doe?
I think the concept of, like,
his idea.
Sin, and everyone deserving to die because of sin, and the whole, like, I think it's shown to be, like, a stupid...
Well, the point of Christianity is that you forgive them.
If he's killing them.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Christian, but... I understand that the actual thing of like sinning is that you repent and you're forgiven.
Yeah, that's not like
everybody sins and then you get forgiven. It's not
like the concept of it, but I just think
his idea
of it, and it's like instantly inexcusable, and they deserve death.
Yeah,
and not even just death, but death not so like gruesome, but like dark.
Yeah, I understand that, like,
it's really quite, like...
That, he said, like, they're preaching, right?
Yeah.
So, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure he doesn't think everybody who experiences them ever deserve that death. It's like he tried to pick extreme examples.
For his killings, yeah. But I do think he does.
Believe everyone,
Because he said in the car, they were driving up to where they were going to go meet the guy with the box and shit.
And he's like,
and he was driving up and he was like... I actually wrote down one of the things he said. He was like, if you want people to, like, listen, you've got to hit them so hard. And so that's why he was doing, like, the whole killing stuff, to make a point. But he still wants them to listen. He genuinely was like, that guy, like, you know, the sex worker. Yeah. And he was speaking about them all. Truly, like, he felt that because of their sins, they deserve to die. And, like, he felt that about everyone.
I just don't understand, because there are people out there who have, like... been murderers who hold themselves as like high Christians who are doing God's work, and it's like, do you not see that you are ignoring the most basic Christian practices? The very most basic core principles of Christianity you are ignoring to do that part. It just doesn't make much sense to me, but then again, it's not meant to make sense.
I think the film is kind of like trying to show it in a way that's like this concept of like it's nonsensical,
and we kind of discussed that on the fact that like this is actually more serious for us. Good for us. We kind of discussed that on the fact that like the Pride one seems like the only death that's really perfectly thought out.
Yeah, literally,
it's the only one that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like
no, definitely.
Oh, don't get me wrong, all of them are like cool. Like the idea is all cool.
Yeah,
but Pride is the only one where like she is directly proving
his point
that she is that sin because she chose to take the pills instead of calling the ambulance because she didn't want to be seen that way, which shows she is Pride. It shows that she really is. Don't get me wrong, I don't think she deserves to die for that. No. But like all the other ones, I feel like it wasn't proving his point.
No,
because they weren't choosing to do anything. No,
they didn't have any choice in any of this like sense of it, other than the fact, like we were talking about, is that they were held at gunpoint and they had the choice to just get shot. But
that doesn't prove...
I don't think that proves...
Unless his
sin
point...
or not.
No, because none of the sins had anything to do with...
Yeah.
It would make more sense if all of them were, would you rather die or do this?
Yeah.
And that went against. You know what I mean?
What they're saying, yeah.
Yeah, that would make more sense than it being, would you rather die or do this thing that is symbolic to your sin? That doesn't make as much sense to prove his point. But then also, I don't think it would be a better movie if he did.
That's what I think.
He has to not
purpose.
be perfect.
Yeah.
He can't be perfect. He's not supposed to be.
No.
Maybe he is, but I don't think he is. He.
I think they maybe not purposely, but I think you can see it written out, right? That the sins aren't like the kills aren't really that logical, other than the Pride one in his viewpoint. I mean, not in general, but in his viewpoint, they're not really logical other than the Pride one. And I also think it's interesting how they made, because we were saying about one of them being Pride, like Mills or
how I thought it was. Yeah.
Because they build up a thing about the fact that Pride has been missing and hasn't been done yet or whatever.
But again, they only say it once. That was on me.
No, I'm not. I think that if you're going down that road, not of one of them being, but I mean like just in general, the fact that they mention Pride outside of their little investigation.
He had to think about that. It's like he had to think about that one harder.
We talked about the fact that Pride makes sense to be the one that's more realistic because Pride is more often seen in more people.
Yeah.
And I think
and that's why I think they had to pick a more extreme example.
Yeah.
They had to pick a more extreme example because
they made it more of the focus.
This is the
thing. When they mentioned it not being done yet and stuff like that, they made it more the focus. I think they did it on purpose.
Again, like, I think part of it is that in all the others, you see why they're that sin very clearly. You wouldn't understand why she was Pride necessarily as clearly if it wasn't for the fact that she chooses to do that. Yeah. And I think that's the important part of it. It's like, what about her represents Pride just because, like, she's a woman who, like, cares about what she looks like. But then it's like, look how much she cares about what she looks like. She is willing to die. Yeah. That really drives it home. I think you're right. I think it is just that she doesn't represent that sin as clearly enough if they don't go harder with hers. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of a standout point to everyone who's watching. It's like, look, this is more what humanity is like than what he thinks that every sin is like.
Is this
crazy involved in everyone's lives? Yeah. And shit. But Pride, I think, out of all of them, is the one that, if you're looking at people in the sense of that, is more likely seen in more people.
Yeah.
I think they bring more of a viewpoint to that.
I started Squid Game yesterday, right?
The first season.
The second season.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of it?
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay, well, it was in the first episode, so I can spoil it. If you're listening and you care about Squid Game, they play Russian roulette. Yeah. The 2 of them. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And me and my dad were talking about it because we both agreed, right? He made the point, but I very much agree with it. So they played it the first time where they're swapping it. Yeah. But they changed it so that, like, you're not swapping. So it is going to kill one of you. Yeah. Whereas before it's completely random, it might never. Yeah. You know? And it is going to kill one of you. And he gets down to 2. Yeah. And he actually shoots himself in the head because the other guy is being like, oh, pressure's boiling and you're worried now. Like, maybe you should just kill me, but just killing me would prove your point. Yeah. Prove my point. First of all, don't care. Would have shot him. Literally. Don't care. Like, don't get me wrong. Really? I don't want to kill anyone. But in that exact situation, you're dying or he's dying. Yeah. And he's an awful person. Yeah. And
who has done this and will continue to do this.
His point was like, oh, you're just like everybody else. You're not cool and special. You're just a worthless person. That's fine. First of all, no one's going to know that he proved you wrong except him, who's about to die. So who cares? Second of all, right, then, when he goes, yeah, okay, cool, it didn't shoot me, he gives the gun back. I know. That is the dumbest thing. I understand that he was like, I want to prove my point, and he shoots himself. Again, I wouldn't do it, but I get it. You know, he wants to be prideful, he wants to be cool, he wants to be great. He gives the gun.
That's next level pride. It's like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. And
it's like, do you really care this much about proving this point to this random guy you hate?
He's gonna die, hopefully.
The thing is, right, there's a bullet in the gun. There's a bullet in the gun. Yeah. He knows there's a bullet in the gun, and you are passing it back to him. You're insane.
It's insane.
And he's like, oh, well, if, now I'm going to say the same thing to you. And it's like, is it really worth proving that point? Is it really worth to you proving that point, risking him shooting you? Yeah, literally. First of all, what my dad said, which is really true, is that when he gives you the gun, just shoot it a bunch of times at him. Literally. Only takes 6 to kill him.
Maybe less than that, so,
Possibly less than that, yeah. Could have been the first one. Exactly. Always do that. That's genius. I understand when it was the two of them that like they weren't in charge of the gun.
They didn't have the gun yet. Like,
They couldn't do that. But when it's just him and the guy,
you have the gun in your hand.
and you're really gonna play Russian roulette with this guy you hate.
I'm like, no.
We're not playing
Russian
games.
roulette.
No. In fact, I have the gun. I think I'm gonna be leaving now. Thank you.
Bye.
I just I don't know.
Real.
Anyway, I put. Are you done with lines?
No.
Oh, you told me you had barely any lines.
This will make me laugh. And it's really funny because after our whole serious chat about that,
Whoa.
it's
Yeah.
real. Yes,
Okay, I want to get some funny things.
He says masturbating in your own feces, and it reminded me of that video that we watched.
Do we have to bring that up?
Yeah.
Do we really have to talk about that right
No,
now?
that's that. We can leave it at that.
Well,
Yep. Masturbating in your own feces, and I was like, aha!
no, that sounds really bad. No, that sounds really bad. We have to clear that up at least a little bit, please.
Go ahead then.
Okay, it's like a stop motion animated Play-Doh video of like this. It's called the Wanky Shit Demon. It's not in any way pornography. I'd like to clear that up.
Yeah, no.
Unless you're into that, I guess, but it's not intended to be. It's silly and stupid. Kai made it sound really, really bad.
I just said masturbating in your own feces, and it reminded me of that video we watched at the party.
That doesn't sound bad to you.
Okay.
The video we watched as a group.
Okay, yeah.
That doesn't sound bad to you.
So bad.
Anyway,
No, it's harmless.
harmless.
Actually, it's quite weird, but not weird like that.
Harmless.
Harmless.
Cake? Do you remember that? That's how the video ends. He goes, cake? Anyway.
and it
that's
just
enough
reminded
about that, okay? That's not a matter. Don't Google it. I
Google it, guys. Google it.
rack up the numbers on that video.
He says.
Imagine if there was just like obviously we're not like famous, so we can't do that, but if we had like a big audience, imagine if we just managed to like get that video to like really high numbers. Go watch it 10 times in a row, like it on every account you have.
Real.
That'd be so funny. Anyway, tell
he
me.
says, when a person is insane, which you clearly are, to John Doe, I think it's really funny.
I love
He's
that
so
bit.
sassy.
He is. Yeah, that's his thing though. Why would you just wind him up?
Literally.
Is that really the best plan for you?
Literally.
Just wind him up in a car?
And then he, on that whole rant, he goes, "You're a fucking t-shirt at best."
Yeah,
I don't know how it starts.
I think I said
What's
like I don't remember. He's just saying like that it's not all that he thinks he is.
Fucking t-shirt.
One thing I did say was like in what? Oh,
This is you when you're like half asleep.
I'm not being funny. Why are you giving him like? Why does he get the right? I understand it's because otherwise he won't take the police, I guess. But why does he get the right to be like, I'm only going if it's the two of them? No, bitch.
But, you're not in charge
You
here.
kill people. You think you give us the rules?
They do actually. They gotta find the bodies. So they'd be like,
Yeah,
I guess. If we
I
have to.
guess. But like,
But no, it is like, what the fuck.
still.
Okay, one last line.
Yeah, cool.
Somerset points out there's a dead dog when they're stopping at the thing.
Stop, this is exactly, you know I told you, okay, that the guy
Yeah.
mentioned a line. This was the line.
And he goes, I didn't do that.
It's so funny, like, they pull up and there's a dead dog in the road, and Somerset's like, there's a dead dog. And he goes like, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. Don't look at me.
It was me.
Because it's just like a random dead dog. We just pull up and there's a random dead dog and he's like, is this one of the bodies? No. That's a dog. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously awful, very sad. Very sad. It's just a
What
random
sins
dog.
are the dogs
They're in the
committing?
desert. It's probably got hot.
Yeah. Dead dog.
Yeah, why is he killing the dead dog?
I didn't do that.
For feeling envy.
Or wrath.
For having thumbs, probably. Mrs. Thumbs.
Oh.
Sorry, that's awful. I was really sad that the dog died, but like it's just
We didn't
like
see the dog. And
we didn't know the
dog.
dog.
Exactly.
Not that that means anything, but it was a funny line. Anyway, okay, scenes?
Okay, scenes.
Okay, I've got... There's like a bit... This is more about visuals. But there's like a bit where Brad is first walking through the rain.
Yeah.
And like, he's really dark. And the rain is like really bright. It just looks really cool. Like,
Yeah.
he's really like... He looks very shadowy. Because he's all like soaking from the rain. And the rain is like really bright all around him. And you can't really like
Yeah,
see
literally.
any of the cars or anything.
I do love.
And then also when he gets in the car.
Yeah.
The same thing. like the rain on the outside of the car looks really cool. Like it kind of makes him a lot clearer than if you could see outside.
Yeah. I do love that this whole film is kind of set in the rain. I think it works really well to just set the mood. Pathetic fallacy.
Yes, there's a lot of pathetic fallacy in this film.
I also said he looked like a drowned. I said when they were passing through the gluttony thing.
Beep. Beep. Doula beep. That video, you know what? Anytime I think of Dua Lipa, Doula peep.
Doula peep.
And I don't really know anything about Wendy Williams except that one video of her saying Doula peep. But I just really like
funny.
Doula. It reminds me of how you said Dr. Pepper earlier. I don't remember now.
Peeper.
Peeper.
Dr. Peeper.
Doula peeper. Doula.
It just, every time I hear that, it then makes me think of,
it's just
really pickles.
You don't even like pickles. You're a fake. You're a fake. Although you know what though, I wouldn't eat anything with as much. I would not eat anything with as much as.
I would put glitterall in your soup.
No. You know what though? To be fair, I love soup, but I had way too much soup, so now I can't have it very often.
Oh my god, I forgot about your soup months.
It was like a year.
It was like a year.
And my parents bought so much soup, and I wasn't even having it with bread.
Just soup. Just were you drinking it by that point?
No, I was eating.
You were still enjoying eating that for as long as it takes. The months, the years it takes to eat a bowl of soup.
I like stirring it because it makes bubbles and it makes me feel like a witch on a cauldron. so like,
I'm such a child sometimes. I love it. It's great.
Like, oh, you and you're not.
No.
You can't eat tomatoes on a pizza. You can't drink soup because you're scared you'll choke. You can't eat it because it takes too long. And you're telling me I'm a child because I like the bubbles
on a cauldron, like a witch.
Cauldron, like a witch. Okay.
Let's go back on the film.
Okay. We're already quite far through.
I'm trying to find things that aren't just me going, oh my god, he's so sexy.
You know what's really funny? Do you know what I wrote in mine?
What?
Gay boy Kai distracted by Brad Pitt.
How did you know? How did you know?
Because you missed Brad Pitt bending over because you were too distracted. You were too distracted.
I was writing notes.
You were too distracted by Brad Pitt before that you got distracted and missed Brad Pitt bending over and saying that they were fucking him. And you missed him.
No.
Bending over. And I looked at it and I went, Kai's going to want to see this. Went to look over, to see like you looking excited. And you're writing down. And I also wrote gay boy and it's just B-I. Gay bi. I think it's supposed to be a B-O-I. But
boy.
I didn't write that. I wrote gay
yeah.
bi.
I wish I saw him bend over.
Gaby.
Gaby.
Reminds me of scabies.
Yeah, it does.
You have scabies?
If Brad Pitt does.
Great. Anyway, yeah.
Why? Okay. This might be really not correct.
I drank a lot of this lemonade. I'm gonna get a really bad tummy.
So if you think it's not correct, tell me I'm wrong and just cut it out.
Okay, tell me.
Why is there kind of on the first, like when they're having dinner together? Why is there kind of flirty energy between Somerset and Tracy?
No, I thought that Tracy was gonna have an affair with Somerset. No, because I thought when you said that you were gonna say Somerset and Mills, and I was like, whatever. Like I don't know why you're even telling me to cut that out because we'd say that anyway. Yeah. But no, I thought, especially when she called him. When she called him, I thought.
I was like, oh my god.
I didn't think they were gonna have an affair.
No,
I thought she wanted an affair.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to talk to him on the phone.
She was laughing a lot.
She wanted to talk to him on the phone.
Yeah.
She wanted to go meet him, and then she wanted to like go meet him for coffee.
Yeah.
And she was really weird about it on the phone. She was like, "Oh, I just don't know who to talk to, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna have an affair."
This is bad.
But I think she more saw him as like, well, he's old.
Yeah.
He's like a new dad.
He was like, he knows the place, and she was scared, and she couldn't talk to Mills about it, because, to be fair, love Mills, but I don't think I could talk about my problems with Mills.
No.
If I was with Mills, it would be like an
He'd be like,
topic subject.
Anyway, can I go back to my dogs now, please?
I'm pouring right now. No, but I genuinely, like, they were at the, like, Mills was sat right there, and they're all eating dinner and drinking wine together and stuff, and then they were just
and
like...
they're flirting. I know, I totally agree. Well, at least it's mostly her.
Yeah.
It's not really
He's
him.
not. He's just there like...
Maybe she's just friendly. Maybe we're being like, you know...
Yeah, that's true. I actually didn't write
but...
Tracy, I wrote Tiffany.
Tiffany!
I changed it to Tracy later.
Or I put soothing, relaxing, vibrating home.
real?
Because not Brad Pitt. Somerset, Summer House, Top Boy Summer House goes soothing, relaxing, vibrating home, and then he fucking starts absolutely dying of laughter. And then it's when Mills is like, "Can you guys stop laughing, please? I pay for this house."
Up until that point,
they've been getting along really badly.
They're getting along really badly, and we don't really see Somerset having a good time, and he's just a bit grumpy, and he's like, "I want to get out of here, I just want this over." And then he starts like laughing, and it's like, "Oh my god, this is actually heartwarming."
All of the rest of the dinner, Mills is like kind of grumpy sat there like, why did she want to have dinner with him? I don't want to have dinner with him. I had to walk all the way over here with him. Literally. And I don't really like spending time with him. And I'm grumpy. And then he was like, okay, maybe this is okay. And then they become friends.
Also, I think it's funny that he put the wine for Top Boy Summer House, in a pint glass.
Because he's a child and he doesn't have wine glasses. Yeah, I agree.
They're also, a couple, and they own a home,
and she dresses like a grown-up,
and they don't have wine glasses. I'm sorry,
but like wine glasses are a need, because what if I want to drink Schlur? You think I'm gonna drink Schlur out of a fucking mug? You're having a laugh.
Milton drinks Schlur.
Milton. If Mills' name was Milton, he would drink Schlur.
Really?
He doesn't as Mills. As Mills, he drinks beer, but Milton drinks Schlur. No, this is the thing, right? Wine glass.
And I was like, this is pathetic.
The point of Schlur is to make children feel like adults who have wine, but it tastes nice and yummy, and not yucky like wine. Exactly. You get me.
I get you.
Okay. Well,
when they take a little nap.
Oh, I love that bit. Yeah.
I love that bit.
I thought I wrote Brad shit. And then I realised this is Brad's shit. Like it's talking about something, but I thought it said Brad shit.
When do we see his shit?
No, basically, Brad has a tart. No, it's a shirt. Okay, it's hard to read my writing. He wears like a tie with like dogs or something on it. Like in the bit where he's at the meeting with like his boss and Somerset.
Yeah.
He wears like either like a shirt or a blazer that's like... No, he wears a blazer that's like plaid.
Milton?
Yeah, Milton. He wears a blazer that's plaid and then a tie with like bears or dogs or something on it. And it doesn't make any sense to his character.
Actually, why has the film put him a little side character thing of him just being obsessed with dogs?
Yeah. It wasn't a dog. I don't think it was... There was something on his shirt.
You sure it wasn't a dog?
I don't know, because it was multiple... It was like these little creatures.
Multiple dogs.
It was like little creatures. It didn't look like dogs, it was brown, but it didn't look like bears. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't make any sense to his character throughout the rest of the thing, where he's just wearing like plain shirt, plain tie, he looks cool.
He's not a fun tie
he's wearing
kind of guy.
Fun tie, plaid blazer.
He's not a fun guy.
That doesn't...
Fun tie
that
kind of guy.
clashes in colour.
That rhymes. Fun tie kind of guy.
Kind of guy.
I'm a fun tie kind of guy.
Yeah? You're not wearing a tie right now, though.
I wore a dinosaur tie to prom. And
you wore a black tie, didn't you?
No, I wore a grey tie and then little dinosaurs on it. And the
I don't remember you wearing a dinosaur.
Backward cap, one of them.
I don't remember
on a skateboard.
that. I don't remember you wearing a dinosaur tie.
They were really tiny icons of dinosaurs. But
did it look plain if you look at it from afar?
Probably.
I feel like I'd remember you wearing a dinosaur tie from. I thought you wore a black shirt, grey tie.
Black shirt, grey tie. Tie had tiny dinosaurs on them.
Oh. Well, my dress had no dinosaurs.
Nope, because you're a loser. Loser!
Well, I got lots of compliments. Did you get lots of compliments?
For my tie, I did, probably.
I don't think anyone got complimented except our one friend who wore one a much more fanciful suit.
It was a fancy suit.
It had multiple patterns and it was
so cool.
It was amazing. And also, I just feel like he was the only boy who got complimented in general, probably, that night.
Yeah.
It's not really for them, is it? They all wear the same kind of suit and then...
I had a dinosaur tie, I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, I think it should be more for them, and you got to wear as you wished, but I feel like most people it's like...
But yeah, no.
I'll get a suit that matches my girlfriend's dress. She told me I had to, and I don't care. I'll wear my Air Forces, I don't give a shit. Anyway, why have we gone on a rant about prom?
I don't know.
We're an hour and 14 minutes.
We're good.
Okay, we need to get the ball rolling and talk about this movie a bit more. I put the set.
I don't even get what's going on right now.
The set. Oh, I've already moved on to soundtrack / videography.
Well, don't.
Okay, we'll talk about scenes quickly. I don't want to be waiting for you like I was for lines for a billion squillion years. Ooh, squillion. Squillion. Reminds me of squids. A billion squids. Please. Lord.
Why? Okay.
Yeah.
They
Why
go
should I
into
admit?
like the strip club. The club.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a strip club.
I think it's kind of like strip club.
The club.
Yeah.
And there's a police officer, and he has a shower cap on his hat.
I wrote about that.
Why does he have a shower cap on his hat?
I wrote about that. I loved it.
I love it, but
He's
why?
scared to get...
Calm.
I was going to go with feces, but you can just go right out there and say...
Whoa! How is... Okay, I'm sorry.
You don't think feces
Club.
is more PG than cum?
They're two different things.
Does feces only mean poo?
Yes.
I thought it meant like everything that comes out of a
Okay,
person.
as
Wait,
I
let me
know, it only means poo.
I thought feces was just like human waste.
Don't think so.
Let me Google it. Okay, well then never mind. Your point was fine. But
Thank you.
okay, I was gonna say like, oh yeah, okay, poo. You're right.
Yeah.
Feces is just poo. Okay, well I mean like bodily.
I know.
I was just gonna say like fluids. Bodily
No.
fluids.
Okay, bodily fluids from the club. I get that, but
Oh.
I don't know. I don't go to a club and expect.
I meant to say fluids.
Okay. Well, yeah, that would be a concern.
General fluids. Fluids is a nicer word than the word you chose to use.
Calm.
Yes.
I'll stop saying it.
And
That
feces.
particular body fluid.
Feces. I was wrong about the meaning of feces, and now I'm embarrassed a little bit, but it's okay.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
Not all of us know about
It's
feces.
not that I didn't know, but you know what it's like. You just
Yeah.
get a bit confused about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another scene
Yeah.
when they stood there shaving their chest hair together.
I loved that scene. That was iconic.
I was like, oh, you don't want to be seen as gay, but you're shaving your chest hair together right
And
now.
it's like if I cut my nipple off, would I get money for?
Literally, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like this.
Well, they had to shave their chest hair so they could put on the things.
Yeah, but it was still weird.
Yeah.
They could have done it in separate
It was weird.
areas.
See, if only they had body cams, because back then they only have like the microphone. They don't have
Yeah.
a body cam. If they had a body cam, then people would understand better why Brad Pitt did what he did.
Yeah, literally.
Because on the microphone, like, yeah, you can hear him talking about it. Actually, no. Okay, I changed my mind. He does completely explain it on the microphone. So never mind.
Yeah. Well,
Can I talk about my stuff?
yes.
I said that the opening credits with the like sequence, it has like really cool text and it looks really cool. And then also I didn't even realize until right at the end that it was a remix of Closer by Nine Inch Nails.
neither.
I didn't notice until it went like, what was the line it did?
The first.
You kept me closer to God.
Yeah, and then
It did
cut
that,
off.
and it cut off, but it didn't have any of the other lyrics. It just had like,
It was really cool.
but it didn't really sound like the actual song in that, like, it didn't have the melody. It
No.
had the noises. It had the exact same noises, but it didn't have any of the melody.
Yeah.
And it really fit with the visuals.
It was awesome.
It was just really cool.
And it makes sense, but it gave me like Fight Club vibes, but obviously
Yeah.
it would because same
Yeah, same
director.
director. And then I put,
But, yeah.
I like, there's a bit right at the beginning when they're walking into Gluttony's house, and they're like walking past like a gate, and it's kind of shot like just below their head level.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but it's just really cool. Like, it looks like it's not head level with them.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's not like a full out shot. It's just like what should be a headshot, but just slightly below. And for some reason, it's like looking up at them, and it just kind of looks cool. I don't know why, but I
No,
just
that
liked it.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
They do in the Gluttony house. They do like a cockroach tracking shot. And it's really interesting to like go across the table. So you go from
yeah.
like the body on the table, and then it just like watches a cockroach like crawl across it, and it's really
Yeah.
interesting because it's like a close up of seeing like just the pure like grossness of that house. You know,
Yeah.
you see it in all its detail. It's really
I
cool.
got like, there's a bit where it's at the police building, and there's all these people coming to like ask them about the murder, and they're like, leave us alone, leave us alone. And there's like, the police building has like absolutely giant windows, like absolutely huge windows. And the rain is just like completely drenching them. It's like pouring. It's like
Yeah.
flooding down. It's like, you know when like a train pulls up and there's water just absolutely flooding down it. Like, it looks like that. It looks so sick. It looks
I
like
do
waterfall.
love like there's loads of when he gets hit on the head, Milton, and he gets hit on the head, and then the guy comes
We need
up
to
to
stop calling him Milton.
It's funny.
Fine.
Top Boy Summer House and Milton. And he comes up and he has a gun to his head. And he's blurry, or kind of blurry, but the gun is in really clear detail, and you can see the rain dripping down.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely
and
flooding down his face. I think I wrote about that later.
It looks so. Later,
because he's like against the car.
He's
He's against the van wheel,
Yeah.
and I think it's like both going over the van wheel and from the gun, so it's like flooding down his face, and the blood's
It's
like
amazing.
gone with it. It's really cool. And, like, this imagery repeated the whole thing, like the rain, like we said, the rain is repeated throughout the whole thing. It's just really good.
Yeah, it works really well.
That's why I think it kind of feels more like they're going to, like, an otherly place. When at the end, they go, like, out to the desert.
Yeah.
To take the photos. And it's like, the whole thing's been in the rain.
Yeah, true.
And the dark.
All really
and
blue.
Then they go out to this bright desert.
Yeah.
It's all orange.
No rain.
No.
It's...
To do the last part, and it feels so, like...
It really does shift your mind.
To, like, this is the new... It's, like, a whole new different part of the movie to the rest of the movie. It's, like, the movie's in 2 parts.
Yeah, definitely.
The city and the desert.
Yeah. It's really, like, intricate. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, obviously by British standards, this doesn't make him a good police officer, but by American standards, the fact that Morgan...
Top Boy Summer
House has never pulled the trigger and has only got his gun out. The pull the trigger is different. Like, I wouldn't expect even an American police officer, really, obviously, to pull the trigger. But the fact that he's only gotten his gun out twice, and the fact that he said, like, that he's only ever pulled it out with intention to shoot, makes him, like, in my eyes, a good police officer by American standards. Because, like...
Well, we talked about it, didn't we? About how, like, in Die Hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I... shot a kid or something.
Yeah, and he's like sad about it. But this thing is, like they said, like Morgan Freeman said, Top Boy somehow said, I've only got my gun out twice, and I had the intention to shoot. And it's like, yeah, because you can't just get your gun out for like, I'm a cop, I have a gun.
Yeah.
You know? He bought his life back. Like, he didn't have, you know, he went to dinner with them, and he went to breakfast with Tracy, and he hung out with Mills, and he cared about a case.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's bringing back the life to him, and that's why he's so, like...
Like, they made apparent, like, throughout the film, like, he wanted to get away, he wanted to leave, he wanted it to be done, and then by the end, Mills is going through a really obviously, hard time, because he just, you know, and he wants to stay and be there for him and be able to support him.
And I honestly think, like, if that hadn't happened, he probably would have stayed to work with Mills.
Yeah.
As well. Because it's like he has a partner now, but obviously he's not going to work with Mills, because Mills should never, ever be on the force again, because he's traumatised.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just interesting as well, because, like, police officers in America shoot people on the job and don't always end up never being able to, you know, work. For example, Al shot in Die Hard, shot the kid.
Yeah.
And he continues to work on the force. He just doesn't shoot people.
Yeah.
But in the case of that particular one, he's now, you know, he's Wrath.
Yeah.
You know, he's proved himself wrong. He's proved the other guy, like, he can't.
Well, he lost his wife, and he found out in that, like, they've been working on it for, like, a week. Yeah. Non-stop. Like, no breaks.
Found out in a really horrific way. Just sort of generally...
What we said about it, his acting.
Yeah, he almost died. Like, it's just a generally traumatic time for him. Yeah. Because he's already recovering from the fact that he almost got killed by the guy. And the guy's rubbing that in his face.
Plus, he didn't know his wife was pregnant. And he finds out from him.
At the exact moment.
Not from Somerset. From John Doe.
From hearing that the wife was asking him not to kill her because of the baby as well. That is a horrible way to find out. It really was, like... Obviously, there were some really serious moments in this movie, so, like, obviously we're gonna, you know... But that was one, like, genuinely some of the best acting I've ever seen, because instead of just, like, crying and screaming and stuff, which can be the right move...
Yeah.
You know, like, I always say one of my, like, favourite moments of, like, acting, I know lots of people choose to hate her, but is when Skylar in Breaking Bad runs after the baby.
Yeah.
When Walter kidnaps the baby, and, like, it genuinely is, like, impressive how much emotion, like, she gets out and she's screaming and stuff. But I think in his case, the way he acted it worked better for that moment, because he's in a place of not knowing what to do. It
shows more complexity to a character than John Doe clearly thinks any person in the world has.
Yeah, John Doe thinks, well, he's going to kill me, he's angry.
And
he can't make up his mind.
But he can't.
He knows...
He's distraught.
Because he knows he shouldn't kill him. He knows he has no, like... He can't claim self-defense. Yeah. He has no way of claiming self-defense. Like, he is going to lose his job, because the only way you can really continue to be a police officer after shooting someone is if it was for, like, self-defense reasons, really. Yeah. So, like, you know, he can't claim self-defense. He is proving his point which he doesn't want to do because he likes to think of himself as like caring about people, obviously, which he does.
Yeah.
He's just found out his wife died, and he doesn't. He
And
just
he's
wants,
lost his baby.
and his baby that he didn't know
child,
about. He wants to mourn, and so he keeps changing between anger, about to shoot him,
Because the thing,
to like just like a face of complete grief.
he's stuck in a moment where he wants to mourn and he wants to break down completely, but he can't because he's got Somerset there, someone he looks up to,
Telling him not to shoot him,
telling him
and
to
he
shoot
doesn't
him,
want
and
to.
he's got the person who killed his wife right in front of him, and it's
And
this
all
whole
he
like,
really wants to
overwhelming.
do, yeah, because all he wants to do is kill him. All
Yeah.
he wants to do is absolutely destroy him. That's all he's wanted to do for a while. But also, does he even like have the you know like does he
Yeah,
even have the energy to? And you really see that in the fact that he doesn't jump at him, he doesn't attack him. He just
The
fucking does it.
switch
He just does
between
it.
his grief and his anger.
The
is-
face.
Oh, it's
He keeps like turning his head away, and his whole face kind of scrunches up, and then it releases again.
it's
Like
yeah.
you see the release and
I think that close up.
yeah, you see the
Best
release
one in
and
the film.
rebuild up of pressure in his face like
Yeah.
repeatedly, and it's really really good.
Plus, it stains on stills on that shot for longer than like a normal shot would.
Yeah.
stay on it, and it does obviously swap between John Doe and
But not
Somerset,
particularly.
but not much. You see everything going on in his
Yeah.
mind.
But
There's pure like
yeah, he really
transparency.
like
in the character in that sense.
it just really
See.
like that was a scene that really like when I was watching I was like wow, this is like really good acting. Another like example of kind of like a similar level of really portraying like an emotion so perfectly, because I think usually I feel like usually in films there's like a very stereotypical way to act out an emotion, and I think that broke
Yeah.
the stereotypical way of acting out that emotion. He could have just been angry, he could have just been sad.
Yeah.
He could have been a mix of the two that wouldn't even be that effective as well. Like, he really does it in, like, a more unique way that works better. I think it's more realistic. And I think the same thing for, like, in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Mhm.
And Lakeith Stanfield. he
Love him.
really does fear. Like,
Oh.
I have never seen it.
He does. He genuinely. It's like
You see it on his face everywhere he goes. He is terrified. He's terrified that he's terrified for so many things, because he realizes that it's like all the emotions that he feels you see on his face. I really recommend this movie.
yeah, definitely.
But it's just a really good example of like emotion being portrayed really well. And I was gonna say also like the way you see when Brad Pitt shoots him, it's not actually out of anger in the end.
No.
It's kind of giving up.
Yeah.
It's not like he doesn't
think-
suddenly scream and shout and let out all his anger.
Yeah.
He just gives up.
I think
I
like
think-
there is a sense of overkill. Obviously, he like shoots him like 6 or 7 times, but it's kind of in like you could see it as him just trying to like he knows
He's done it.
he's gonna kill him. He knows he's gonna kill him. He knows he's gonna lose his job. He knows he's lost everything in his life that
It's
he cares
kind of
about.
like, well, you know what?
I might as well.
I don't think it's even a might as well. It's like a, well, obviously.
Oh yeah.
It's like everyone knew he was going to do it.
Yeah.
The guy knew he was going to do it, that's why he did it. And it's like Morgan Freeman's like, prove him wrong. And he's like, well, he knew I wasn't going to prove him wrong. Everyone knew I wasn't going to prove him wrong. You know?
Yeah.
It's just a complete and utter...
Because Somerset said it before when he was like, he opened the box.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't, like he is in control.
Yeah.
Because he's right. This killer, however much I think his like whole like attitude towards everything is really fucked, he does hold all the control in this film. He keeps them searching for him. He keeps them, you know.
Oh yeah, all
even
points
to
he
the
does.
end. He has the control.
He
of the
comes in, he
situation.
hands himself in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
He knew all this was going to happen. And he got what he wanted.
I really thought that he was going to kill them. And I will say, like, for me personally, I mean, usually I'm a fan of when movies don't really have, like, the stereotypical, oh, everything just ends up being alright ending.
Yeah.
And I think, on the one hand, I thought, oh, it'll be really obvious if he kills them. On the other hand, I don't want them to just randomly survive for no reason. And this really was, like, the best ending possible for me.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it was, like, okay, that sounds awful, but, like, not satisfying, but, like, the most...
I agree.
The most sensical like, don't get me wrong, it's not the most fun to watch. Obviously it would be fine
This
if they just
film
made
is
it out
too-
and everything was fine.
No, it wouldn't.
But it wouldn't
Because
be...
this film isn't built up to be like that.
No.
This film wouldn't make sense if all of a sudden they're like, oh, he goes to prison, they're all happy, everyone's happy.
No.
But
It doesn't make any sense for it, and
a film like this doesn't build up to that. They needed it to be
its
this,
ending
like,
in no way disappointed me. In some ways, like, it really... Obviously, I made a lot of guesses as to what was going to happen throughout this movie. Not all correct, but some correct.
But still,
and
all your guesses were, like, on point onto, like, what they were doing.
This is one thing I still think is, like, when I'm looking back, I'm like, all of my endings, while they wouldn't have made... all my guesses, while they wouldn't have made such a good ending, they were logical.
Yeah, I think
to the movie. Because, like, my first guess was obviously that one of them was Pride, which was just me thinking too much. Because I thought it was going to be one of those movies where, like, you really need to pay attention to everything they say.
Yeah.
So I was thinking too much about the fact that they skipped out Pride, so I decided one of them was going to be Pride. And then, obviously, I made the guess that... I still guessed Brad Pitt being Wrath quite early.
Yeah, you did.
I think almost, like, as soon as Pride died.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Brad Pitt's Wrath.
It was like...
And then I really thought that Morgan Freeman was going to be Envy, because I thought, like, he's going to... Basically, my thought was that they weren't going to be able to solve the case, and it was going to come to, like, when he was supposed to leave, and he was going to, like, not want to leave because he didn't want to leave a case unsolved, and he was going to be, like, too prideful. But now I look back and that doesn't make much sense. And then I thought all three of them were going to die at once.
I think all your guesses were really logical for the film. I wouldn't be surprised.
They weren't, like, stupid. They weren't, like, completely uninformed. No. This is the most, like, guess that really I immediately was, like, proven right, was that the man pulled up, the delivery driver pulled up and pulled out a package. No, he said, like, I've got a package for Mills, and I turned to Kai and I whispered in his ear, the package is the wife. And he didn't say anything, he just stared at the screen, and then the box came out and I went, the box has the wife. Something of the wife is in the box. And then I just started going, like, I'm a genius, like, whispering it to him, because he immediately proved me right and I was so excited about it. I just knew.
Yeah.
I like the bit where he goes, like, where he's going, like, oh, we can't break into his building, like, we don't have a warrant, and he's going, we got probable cause, and then he keeps repeating at him, and he's like, we can't break into his apartment, we don't have a warrant, and he's like, we have probable cause. Like, the probable cause is that your arm is broken. That is not a proof that he murdered 5 people. Your arm is broken. I put, yep, good.
Yep.
Will's response to the sketch. Oh my god, okay, so the woman shows the police sketch. And so she's funny. Like, is this the guy? And he goes like, yep, good. And then keeps walking.
But it was terrible.
He's not like, oh yeah, that looks just, you know, okay, it was terrible, yeah, it wasn't a good police sketch. But he's not like helpful, he's just like, yep, good.
He's just blinded by rage. He just wants to catch this guy at this point.
Oh, also when the phone's going off, in the flat.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I love that scene.
Mills walks around going phone.
Yeah, he's trying to phone.
He's like, I love that bit. So I just wrote, look, phone. I really love that bit, and I couldn't understand what it was from until I just remembered that bit.
Yeah.
Okay, we get there eventually. He goes like on the phone. He goes like, I'm sorry I had to hurt one of you, but I had no choice. You can see I had no choice. And then Mills just goes, like he understands. He says it like he does. He's like, no, he's not even like, He's like, He's like, yeah. I like when he says, I didn't enjoy it any more than Mills would alone in a room with me.
Yeah.
When they're talking, so Mills says,
I do love that.
Which I also like the line before he goes like, oh, you clearly enjoyed hurting these people, so like, do you, like, that doesn't fit in with your like whole martyr vibe.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't enjoy it any more than Mills would in a room alone with me. And it kind of proves his point of like, it not proves his point, but it kind of shows how he really does just think of these people make him angry.
Yeah.
You know, because he's saying, Mills is angry at me. Huh?
Your mum was calling me.
You?
Hello?
Okay, we're back. I like the bit where he goes, like, John's talking about how, like, they never would have found him if he hadn't gone there and he's in control. And Mills goes, John, calm down. I seem to remember us knocking at your door. I can't do an accent anything like Brad Pitt. Your door. Not Brad Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt. For some reason I got confused for a second. I can't do an accent anything like Brad Pitt, but you get that's my generic American accent that I do every American character.
I sound like John Doe.
I was going to say, yeah. That's why I got confused and thought I didn't mean Brad Pitt, because it sounds like John Doe. But I literally cannot do an impression of anybody in any...
You know I can't. So.
Yes. It just, there's an American accent. I was going to do an Australian accent the other day to tell you how, like, girl sounded, but then I changed my mind. I could try now.
Well.
Dude, how do I get it down? And then for a second my brain went, jump up and get it down. but then I had to give her directions.
So you could go
down where?
down where?
Down
Under.
I was like, down under. My brain just went like, what the fuck is she talking about down? And I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, down the stairs. They're right there. Why are you asking me for advice? No, I felt bad. She was nice though. Okay, so we talk. Sorry, this is gonna be a real fun to edit. To be fair,
It wasn't as long as
we can get away
Grizzly.
with 2 hours.
Grizzly. We're Grizzly. Grinch.
Not as long as Grizzly. What about us? What about us is long?
Don't ask that. Okay. Letterboxd, Ted. Come on, we're so close.
Okay,
Do you want to go first or shall I?
you go first.
Okay, well, I give it 5 stars and I like because I genuinely, this is my favourite movie, I think.
Yeah.
And I said, best opportunity, seeing Brad Pitt looking like a drowned rat in the pouring rain on the big screen.
Real.
Yeah.
I gave it 5 stars.
Yep.
I gave it a like.
Yeah.
And I wrote, nothing like pulling out your notebook to write, forgot Gwyneth Paltrow was an actress, thought she just sold vag candles in the cinema.
Real.
That's just how the movie
I wonder
made
how
me feel.
nerdy we really did look to all the
We sat down,
cinema goers.
complained about the recliners because we couldn't lean forward enough,
Yeah.
moved the desk over,
I kept moving it back and forth because I kept moving. I felt so bad for the guy next to me.
put our notebook down on it, and wrote notes throughout the movie. I think we seemed pretty nerdy. No, okay, we were respectful at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't like the diva chair guy who went, "Rah!" You know, which, nothing wrong with that. That's why they're recliners. But we did, like, anytime I spoke to him, I whispered it in the loud moments of the film.
Yeah.
And, like, personally, I didn't move my desk at all. I don't know about you.
I did. I moved it a lot. I felt bad for the guy next to me.
I really like this film. Genuinely, like, we really want to stop being off our, like, schedule. And we were already ahead.
Yeah, we were so ahead.
We really want to get back on schedule with releasing. We're getting back on schedule for recording, but it's just the releasing. I think we're watching Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
We'll
After
watch
that.
Ferris Bueller. We have a list at the moment. But
No,
obviously, like, we're really trying. There's a lot to do at the moment.
we're
remember
really
we both
stressed.
we both have things
Life.
going on in life, and therefore don't always have time
No.
to put this as a priority. But it is.
Unfortunately.
It emotionally is priorities for us. It
Real.
just can't in practice be
I'm
priorities for us.
constantly thinking about it and going, oh, wouldn't this be cool?
So
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
yeah.
I've been... Okay.
that's one problem. Anyway, but yeah, no,
Let's go to him.
we're gonna be back on track soon. You know,
I promise, guys.
I know that no one actually cares that much, but you know, we care.
We care. I have a fun time saying audacity because it's just a fun word, isn't it?
Blabbercording, blabbercloth,
Bladder cording. Oh,
bladder, bladdercording.
blabber cording for the blabber
You know, I love Audacity. It was really funny. We were talking to our friend the other day, and he was like talking about what audio stuff he uses and asking if we need an editor, and we were like, we use Audacity because
we can edit.
Goodbye.
Bye from GRZLY.
Bye from GRZLY. I've been your host. Wait, I've been your host. Stop! I can talk. I've been your host, Ted,
And I've been your host, Kai.
and we've really enjoyed talking about Se7en. We really goodbye.
Bye.